when Eternal Return actually came out, I got up to Mythril in Season 1 and 2, which was wonderful times, wonderful times. Alright, let's try Irem, because Irem, or Iretz, okay, yeah, Iretz is actually a Yoda name, is a wonderful skin, and I want to try her out. Because I haven't played her, well, then again, I haven't played this game, you know, months, but new skin for her, and I really enjoy her, even if I kind of struggle sometimes with her bruiser, with her hit and run playstyle. So let's just see how it goes. We could be a full poke comp. We are going to be a full poke comp. Okay, I guess I'm going to be the most frontline that we really have here at this rate, huh? Probably at that rate then, I need to, like, I probably want to give myself Strider or Shift. Nah, I think Shift's more important because it gives me attack range. So the main thing, once again, for newer viewers to Eternal Return in general, is that if you didn't keep up with it much during early access, or really know much else, we do have mainstay carryovers from different MOBAs. We have what is our main, we do have one skill that is shared between all the casts that they can use. Kind of like summoner skills. We have Blink, which is, you know, it's always going to be Blink no matter what. But there is a different flavor called Electric Shift, which I am going to be using for this game, to where it is a dash. So Blink is a blink. It goes through walls. But this one is a dash. It doesn't go through walls, but in exchange, it increases your basic attack range. So perfect for AD carries or people who really need to make use off of a bigger attack range. So for me, I'm playing Irem with the Owlet skin, Iretz. And if the best way to equate her is that she's this game's Nidalee in a way. You want to poke before you pounce in, quite frankly. Nidalee with a lot more committal CC. And yeah, a poke Nidalee, but instead of you having a spear that can go longer range, you have a ball that bounces. Which is better for crowd control more than anything, because it doesn't have the same kill power as a spear. Nowhere near the same kill power as Nidalee spears. But, you know, I'm still going to be transforming in between my regular form and what is my cat form as the main gimmick of my character. So I have 3 skills on both sides, on my regular and my cat form. And I'm going to be trying to abuse that advantage, of course. Because that is my main, well, character. Yeah, my main character gimmick. I basically have Nidalee Pounce. I have a few different jumps in this matter and everything like that. Okay, that doesn't root me. The main thing is that I can get in and I can poke before committing into a fight, which is once again how my exact character kit is going to function throughout. I want to be able to safely poke and get enemies weakened. Anytime I hit them with any of my primary poke abilities, I will be getting extended attack range in my regular human form, which is why I'm taking Electric Shift, so I can abuse that. Extra attack range fact. Then once I am confident enough to go in, that's when I switch to my regular form, switch to my cat form, and go in because I have a little bit more CC and a little bit more damage on that regard. Alright, so almost fully built. I just need leather, which I'll get guaranteed from killing an animal. Perfect. Fully built up. So now, it is all about finding food for myself. That and getting the new items for my next build target. Main thing that you'll be seeing here, compared to other MOBAs once again, is that since you are building stuff on the fly, as the main looting mechanic of this game, I am looking to always keep my inventory of 10 at the bottom right filled at all times, as that will be, as these are all the crafting ingredients that I need to get to my next item breakpoints. Because unlike League or whatever, to where, yeah, your item components will give you small buffs or whatever, stuff like that or so, nah, these are just dead items in my inventory until I craft them to be something better, which will be my legendary items. So my crafting recipes are in the top right, as you can see here. I'm trying to get items to get to that point before before I really do anything else as my primary objective here. So this is still early game looting that I'm really committing myself to, of just farming up wild animals and everything like that or so, finding items that will be useful to my builds later, until I really group up with my team. Usually at this point, when it gets to nighttime, is when you would want to be grouping up with your team. Because Eternal Return is, well, it used to be a solos game, but it is not a solos game anymore. So it is all about finding your teammates, getting with them as soon as possible, and taking your 3v3s. Now, I am playing it very, very close to the edge right here, but I was pretty safe considering nobody had vision, because every area has this console which you can get vision from. And, well, if I died early game, that's 5 seconds that I'm out. So the main gimmicks, once again, behind my character is that I want to be hitting people with my Q, as that will be extending my attack range, or if I jump, then I'll be extending my attack range, which gets me a extended basic attack, and helps, it really helps me. Ooh, wait, you have electric shift. You can't actually go over the wall. Nice. Let's be careful. Let's not fully commit until I know what enemies are here. You can see here, I am waiting to charge for my team since I have forms of CC. But primarily, I'm trying to weave in and out of these fights carefully, making sure that I can, you know, take up enough damage and get the fight going for my teammates once again. If I can CC one enemy, then that's all that I need to do. I CC one. It allows the rest of my team to start going in, and we just, you know, kind of cascade from damage, because everybody in my team is backline damage. I am the only technical frontliner, and more than anything, I'm a bruiser. So because of that, I really can't tank as much as I'd like to. Just trying to be wary of what my own character strengths are, and trying not to overextend myself on that end. Alright, let us go. Main thing too is, if you are catching note of this, a lot of my stuff is consumables in my inventory here. Because of a few unique systems in this game, which are all about eating. You need to make food to eat and water or drinks to, well, drink. Because you don't, because since there's no nexus or, you know, fountain to return to for healing otherwise, you have to be making use of the water. Oh, yeah, you have to be eating food to get health regen, water for mana regen, etc., etc., etc. Stuff like that altogether. And because of that, and because of the lack of these finer systems, technically, rather. Hold on. Nice, I got the back line. Now I need to get out enough. Okay, I am living with 20 health, with 200 health. Good engage from me once again. I am serving my role very well for the team here. But the main thing, going back to that once again, is, you need to just be checking food and health at all times, because that is, unless you have lifesteal or a way to get health otherwise, there is really not that much other of a way to get to get health in that side. Okay, I am gonna be taking up way too much than I expected, so I need to get out. I tanked enough for my team. Please finish off the wound! Oh, nice try. I took a lot more damage than I really expected to, and then my teammates were very much more in. I disengaged way faster. That's all good. That's all good. And teammate. But, getting back to it is all about, you need to be chugging food at all times because you are getting HP 5, HP regen, when you are eating it. And that is the closest that you can really get. Did Eternal Return just crash on me? I think it did. It's not the best when it comes to my streaming either, I gotta say. Because last time I remember trying to stream Eternal Return back in November, it just kind of bricked on me completely. But, going back to this. Unless you have lifesteal or a skill that gets you health in your kit, there's no Fountain to Hearth 2. You can rest in this game, which is your character sitting down and getting huge HP regen, but of course you can't rest while in combat. And so, food and water is your main source of staying alive. There is Heal Cut, there is Grievous Wounds, there is Heal Cut built into lots of equipment to counter this exactly, but otherwise, that is the only way that you are keeping your health up otherwise in these games, and you need to keep that going. So food is always a premium benefit, because if you and an enemy are fighting, and they have, 10 health per second, that's still going to be 50 health over 5. That's still going to be 100, 200, and you know how close MOBAs go when it comes to games of inches in being able to sustain your food economy. So, yeah, it's a pretty big deal here. I haven't really been able to actually get to showcase how later a game of Eternal Return should be able to go. So it's a little harder for me to get to actually showcase how Eternal Return really gets to shine, because I just keep dying in the early game. It's like dying before the ring even closes to begin with in Apex or in any other Battle Royale. Is this a survival MOBA Battle Royale? Yes, it is exactly that. It is a cross between a MOBA and a Battle Royale. It is Season 3 of it so far. And, well, yeah, it's been pretty stable. Season 3 only started, like, what, a week, 2 weeks ago or so? The main things with it is that, as opposed to the regular looting side of things in Battle Royales, where you have to find, like, your guns, equipment, like in PUBG, Apex, whatever, you are literally crafting your core build path. So instead of just, like, yeah, having to farm, like, you will be farming up wild animals, you'll be farming, battling against other players naturally, of course, but you are trying to build your main course of items first and foremost before you start grouping up and playing with your team of trios, because it is a trios only game, so like Apex. It carries over a lot of other core MOBA tenets though, so you have augments, which are League of Legends rune systems, you have tactical skills, so that is your summoner skills, for instance, everything like that or so, and there is still the Battle Royale side of things of restricted areas, global map objectives. So you have meteorites, Tree of Lives, that's right, Apex care packages, or PUBG supply drops dropping on the map that are announced all together, and just going on and on from that. It's a very, very interesting combination of a game that works pretty well in concept, all things considered. Now, as for me, I very much so am a veteran of this game, been playing it since early access Season 2, but, I'd say that's 2020, but I haven't played ever since, like, December of last year, quite frankly. So I am trying to feel out the meta shift, I'm trying to feel out the new characters, and also just trying out new skins for people that I have. Now, my first two games tonight haven't necessarily gone the best. We've died before the 10-minute mark, which is the halfway mark here, so not the best, but I am playing normals instead of ranked, because I don't want to taint my mithril rank, which is, the highest rank that you can achieve, if you're not counting the top 500, top 200 in each region, because that is the tryhard range. I enjoy this game, but not enough to try hard on that level. So the main thing here is that everybody gets to choose their own location on where to drop on the map, and then it is a mad dash to get to these loot bins, to where we are trying to get all our pieces of equipment to, exactly so, grab our starting roof to begin with. Because you are insanely weak in this game, in the early game. Unless you get any actual meat on the bones for your opening items, you are struggling so much. Because kind of like on any MOBA, so if you don't build your boots, you're always just going to be at that MS disadvantage against everybody else, and then you just start drowning. Because they can always outrun you, you can't outrun them, everything like that. Same principle goes here. Why would you fight anybody in the first 2 seconds when you're doing 5 damage versus doing 33 if you just take 10 more seconds to build your item, right here, as you can see, for example. So it is all about big shifts in tempo and everything like that, for instance, when it comes to really making your items, trying to get your entire build going before you start grouping up and fighting enemies. Because for me, I am full build within 2 minutes, which is record-breaking time considering how they tried to cut down from having everybody make their builds in 3 areas to 2 areas, in 3-4 areas to 2, more often than not now, which is pretty decent, all things considered. Season changes going on, and I'm very happy about that as a seasoned player of this game. But that's when I can actually start trying to find enemies to brawl with here. So the main thing is, once again, being a battle royale, it'll be last man, or rather last team standing. It is trios only, as compared to the early access days. So we are looking at 8 teams of 3, so 24 people all together. And let me get to my Zahir. I don't know if you're going to survive long enough, Nate. Well, I'm doing a lot of work for you, Chief. I don't have the MS for this, do I? Potentially. I actually might cut you off. There you are, gotcha. Come here. Ooh! Get hit! Help. Oh! My charge would have worked too. Get her! I didn't have my T1 cooldown. Gosh darn it, that was actually a throw. That was actually such a throw for me. Okay, that's totally fine. Where is our... Oh, Elena, she's still building. Okay, whatever. It's early game. I actually ran out of the food that I was talking about needing to be a premium to build. But the fact is, I got 1 kill, which is pretty decent, all things considered. That is still experience that I'm getting overall. Fact is, you can die early game without that much consequence, as long as your entire team doesn't die, which is the big difference here. Let me just sit down, get some health back real quick before I start engaging on this bear. I'd avoid that fight just a little bit better if I waited for my Q cooldown. I actually just didn't realize that it was off cooldown. If it was, I would have been able to actually kill that, Tia. But hindsight's 20/20. Still decent though. That's 1 early game kill, so that's going to be fueling my future endeavors. And now it's just going back to farming. So you can see here, I'm trying to keep myself very active and attuned to everything going on, but there is a whole host of things that you have to keep up with Eternal Return. For beginners, all that you need to worry about is this day-night cycle at the top, which will dictate whenever global objectives spawn primarily. So at the start of the new day, a few globals will spawn around the map, which can lead to better build items. Crucially is your main thing. They can lead into letting you make what is commonly referred to in the community as transitions. So you can see there's a meteorite here. This can allow my teammates to transition from their starting items to a better item that has better stats, or an exclusive passive that they would only be able to get from said item or so. So we are always going to be trying to traverse as a team on that end, and trying to, well, get these rare materials, get these transitions for my teammates. That way, you know, like in any good MOBA, you're always going to fight at an advantage now, never at a disadvantage. See, somebody is approaching my teammate here. I'm just trying to poke at the moment. Draw what attention that I can. That was a bad dash. So I'm just primarily trying to poke the enemy out here. This is actually a pretty good hit I got my primary engage going. Okay, well, not going to be able to pursue the Yan, which is their front line anymore, so I need to peel back to this back line here. Nice! Got the kill from afar. I'm getting sniped by their Kacha, but it doesn't really matter. I have my teammates with me, so we just finish that off nice and easy enough. So you can see here, with my teammate, Elena, getting the meteorite, she now has a gold item, which is wonderful for our cause. Because now she can really start doing a little bit more damage, have a little bit more CDR, just have a little bit more power, all things considered, is really where the meat and the bones of everything comes out to be. Now you can see here, the other thing to really consider in this game is crafting. You will always be looking to craft better, what's his face? Is this crafting system here. You're always going to be crafting better items, and so we can use the credits that we get from, exactly so, from destroying our enemies in these kiosks. Anytime we kill enemies or do global objectives such as farming, we get these, which we can call in for crafting materials and redeem them for super rare items, like more meteorites or the Tree of Life that I redeemed to get a better weapon. Exactly so. So the main thing is that with every day-night cycle, we are going to have a new rotation of what is called restricted areas. They are the ones marked in red on the map. So anytime anytime restricted items do come around, restricted areas do come around. Hold on. Oh, and he's going in. Good kill. This goes good as done. Watch your timers, everybody. Watch your timers. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Main thing is that, as opposed to regular range sides, restricted areas in this game are restricted areas in this game exactly so only like put a finite timer on you, so you can see I have 8 seconds left, and if you linger for too long, then that's when you actually wind up and die. You blow up, there's no chance of reviving you from there on, etc, etc. Okay, did I go too far in? Into my team? Not yet. Not that I don't think. Oh, and I'm just going in over here, just trying to protect the back line primarily. Hello? Are you going in a little too far, sir? No, we are just getting outflanked hard. Okay, well, now's my time to just disengage. Yeah, I just got flanked by Leon. Alright, I can run for a little bit. My teammates are going to revive, and we're actually finally made it past the 10-minute mark, which is where we're going to get into the later stage of the game. So we've been able to revive naturally so far without any problems, just as long as the entire team has been wiped. But as you get to the second half of the game, the main crux is that we're going to have to use those credits that we've been spanning for so long with, that we've been using to craft our better pieces of equipment and gear to actually revive our teammates. So it causes a push-pull of, you want to be able to fight, get whatever weapon mastery and stats that you can early, but as the game goes on, you need to be, you know, careful enough, picking your fights actually carefully, and making sure that you don't overextend to where you bleed out, and then you're going to be at a character disadvantage for the rest of the game. Because there's mainly 3 phases that Eternal Return matches go through. You have auto-revive, you have credit revival, and then you have, you know, basically what is the end game. We went through auto-revive, which is the first 10 minutes of each Eternal Return game, to where, yeah, you get to be revived for free upon death. There's no real big, there's really no big disadvantage between you not playing the game for 30 seconds. It's pretty nice and relaxed. Now we get to credit revival, to where usually you only want to be using your credits for making better items and everything like that. But if a teammate dies at this stage, now you have to be using credits to revive them, which can set you back, but you'd rather not be at a character disadvantage. Then we get to another 10 minutes later, we get into, you know, just what you could technically call is just the entire late game, to where nobody can be revived anymore now. So that's where the ring starts closing in. I didn't get to actually expand upon it because I got interrupted by all of our fighting, but any area that's marked in red here on the map, as you can see, those are called restricted areas, which is all about, what's his face, which cannot be accessed anymore unless you want to burn your crucial timer. Because everybody only gets 15 seconds, I'm pretty sure, to start, 20 seconds to start the game with the newest Season 3 patches, and the only way that you get restricted timer back is if you get revived after, you know, being dead, or if you kill an enemy. So it's a really big emphasis on playing aggressively, and, you know, you can sacrifice your timer if you want to, exactly so, be a little bit more aggressive. But it comes at that risk of, sometimes you need to run through a restricted area to, to get to your team safely, or to, yeah, keep engaging in a fight. So we took that fight, got the extra 2 kills there, for instance, but it did come to the fault of half of our restricted timer. So we just gotta weigh pros and cons of that. Was that worth it? Was that not worth it? Etc, etc. Thank goodness I have wards, so I can just check the enemies here. 2 knockups, but not exactly what I wanted here. Elena can keep drawing space. I need to get on the back line. Oh, but I just got knocked all the way back. Okay, it's still fine. We got 1. Need to get on the gotcha. I got what I wanted! Huge! Trying to revive our Elena. There we go. Alright, 3v3. That is pretty great, all things considered for us. I'm going to put wards here in just a second. And we can keep fighting on. Nice stuff. I was able to just poke, be annoying, primarily, and crucially not die, so that my frontliner, Elena, to just cause problems. Then our Zahir, which is our primary backline, just went untouched that entire time, and we just kind of bled them out slowly but surely. Pretty good fight, all things considered. Now we get Omega for free, which is kind of like a Baron. Like a Baron Nasher, in a way, if you want to equate it like that. And we just, we continue to be winning at the moment here, quite frankly. And now I have another item to my build, which is wonderful to see, of course. But we actually need to move, because we have no restricted timer, actually looking at it here. They don't want to linger too much when there's no timer left, otherwise we can't just straight up die. We did get a lot of timer for killing that enemy team, but you don't want to be caught out of the ring, or out of a restricted area rather, when you have no timer, because unlike most rings, once again, in other MOBAs to where, oh, you'll just take chip damage or so. No, once that timer reaches 0, you just straight up die. So, you have to be very, very cautious and wary about that. Alright, so I have 400 credits, and everybody else has a really good amount of credits too, so we're going to look to craft and make our late game item breakpoints, because we haven't been able to so far. Look at all this farm. You'll love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty good, pretty good. Here, I'll probably make a Tatstill module to start. That way I can help out our team, since I'm providing us Omni Siphon with my Tatstill model. My teammates have their own turn at crafting, and then we see how we go on from here. So 4 teams, so 3 enemies, 3 enemy squads left. I'm gonna hope I can craft my Tree of Life before the enemies come around is the main thing here. As there is Witch, I am running out of orbs. Alright, well, my poke damage is way too much for them, quite frankly, right there. I just kind of got the poke for free, and these guys are kind of bleeding out. So I just kind of single-handedly won this fight, quite frankly, here. Heck yeah! Alright, that's pretty decent, all things considered, Chief. Oh, we are doing pretty good. So now we can try to turn our sights towards Wickline, which is basically the Baron Nasher of this game. You get her, you get a nice burning damage buff that will last for 2 minutes. And, well, she is the late game objective that you want to be gunning for at all times, if you are uncontested by the enemy. Going to trust that there's nobody around here. Which, if I step on your trail, can you get angry at me? Thank you. I'm gonna kill this bat so I can get the ward from it real quick. Then I'm just trying to tank what I can with my character's shields, since our frontline Elena was just lagging a little bit. No fault of her own, but she was still trying to loot up. Alright, good. We got wit buffs, so now we are going to be uber powerful, and the other 2 squads are just fighting by themselves, so that is even better, quite frankly. we get wit to ourselves, I get to be fully built up, and this is ridiculous. Because now we can just have a nice clean 1v1, and hopefully just beat the enemies, just through sheer virtue of we have better gear and the endgame buff that everybody would ever want. So you can see there, once again, not only did we get that buff, but I also got VF Blood, which is, once again, another transition item that you want to be building towards. So I'm very, very happy with what we've got, all things considered so far. And, well, I'm pretty confident with our chances going into the late game. Now it's just all about setting up for what would potentially be the final area here, which means we're getting things like getting wards, trading traps, etc, etc, etc. Things that can just, once again, help our survival for the late game. I'm trying to mark to my teammates here that the enemy is spotted down here. The wit buff only lasts for 2 minutes, so that is the primary breakpoint on how, and anytime you deal damage, you just deal an additional small dot of damage, which is the primary thing that I'm trying to take advantage of right now. We have an additional damage source, so that is what I want to be able to help influence. A great freeze from our Elena right there. Trying to help our Zahir before he dies. Great peel from me. And this should hopefully be a done deal. Because yeah, 2v1 now. Since I was able to peel well enough for our Luke. The Luke off of our Zahir, our backline. That is pretty good. Just trying to make sure our Zahir doesn't take a 1v1 by himself. So now we can get Arlena for free. And, well, this game's pretty done and dusted, quite frankly, here. Infinite move speed. Ooh, good dash, but not enough. Alright, well, we take those, ladies and gentlemen. That wit buff really helped out, and Elena getting a huge freeze was pretty nice. But primarily, Luke got to get on our Zahir, but I was able to peel for him well enough. And we come out on top, because if they traded, this could have been a dicier game. Considering how it would have potentially just been a 1v1 with me versus Katja. I had better poke, I feel, so I think I might have been able to just muscle her out over time. But, fact is, I kept my Zahir alive, which really just led to our win. So, pretty happy with that for a return game to Eternal Return. Granted, that was after 2 losses, but hey, 1 in 3 ain't bad, especially for having not played since, like, December, November, quite frankly. Feels pretty good, feels pretty good. I am very happy with that right there. You can see, as everybody kept going on, yeah, a lot of people had their late game equipment, especially so. So it all just came down to making sure that you are always staying on top of your builds, on top of, and staying on top of your builds, staying on top of everything